back to G4's Holiday Hit List. I'm Greg Grunberg here in the Ultimate Gamers Lounge. Now, when it comes to dedication, it's tough to be more hardcore than an RPG fan. So let's take a look at what the hardest of the hardcore have coming their way this year. The Final Fantasy series dates back to 1990 when it first appeared on the NES. Since then, a slew of games ranging from RPG to RTS have found their way to all of the systems, and this year is no exception, as Final Fantasy Tactics Advance comes to the Game Boy Advance. This combat-based RPG comes with a twist, as each battle is officiated by a referee to ensure that only fair and legal bludgeoning and maiming techniques are used. Sort of like rugby. Even though there have been more than a dozen titles in the series, with Final Fantasy X-2, we have the first true sequel in the history of the franchise.
Final Fantasy fans are going to be nuts over Final Fantasy X-2 because it's the first real true sequel to a Final Fantasy game. And we've seen, we're up to 11 Final Fantasies now, so you might think, what the hell am I talking about? There are plenty of sequels, but this is the one where it actually continues the storyline.
Final Fantasy X-2 is a very lighthearted sequel to Final Fantasy X. It sort of takes a Charlie's Angels approach with Yuna and Riku and the new character Pain.
Everything is much lighter tone. The world is not about to end. It's just a happier, more upbeat tale. The fact that you're playing exclusively as female characters just gives it a totally different feel.
It's not more of an open-ended RPG, it's mission-based, which is kind of different. But also I think it's a nice way to change it up. This is not so maybe as intimidating as before. I can take mission to mission. If you're willing to give that chance, even though it's different from Final Fantasy, I think you'll definitely like it.
While Final Fantasy X-2 may seem like Final Fantasy Light, Boktai, The Sun is in Your Hand, is all about light. In this innovative RPG from Metal Gear Solid creator Hideo Kojima, you play a young vampire hunter who uses daylight as a weapon, but he doesn't use daylight in the game. He actually uses real sunlight to defeat his enemies. The solar panel on the back of the game cartridge absorbs natural light, affecting the strength of both your character and your enemies. Sunlight, that'll be a concept foreign to some of our more dedicated friends. Fans of our next hero make Final Fantasy faithful look fair weather. Ever since Mario made his debut in Donkey Kong, his legend has grown exponentially, and now he's coming to the Game Boy Advance with his brother Luigi in tow in Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. As with all things Mario, Princess Peach is at the center of the chaos as the boys must rescue her from an evil witch. Players will control both Mario and Luigi, either separately or at the same time, as they try to unravel the mystery behind Peach's disappearance. But if they do rescue her, who's going to get the girl? Sometimes there are things more important than saving the girl, like an entire solar system, for example. And an even long time ago, in that proverbial galaxy far, far away, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic took place.
KOTOR is my favorite Xbox game of the year so far. I think it captures exactly what you want out of the Star Wars experience, but it also gives you a kick-ass role-playing game at the same time.
God, I don't know where to start on that game. It does so many things right.
It is a huge, deep RPG that at the same time gives you an incredible amount of freedom.
Your mind is blown, and you actually feel for the characters. The other thing they're trying to put back in are more sub-quests and more actual dialogue.
Oh, good. Goodbye.
It's gaming on a grand scale, and it's everything a BioWare game should be.
You've been dying for RPGs. This is the RPG. You've been dying for just an awesome Star Wars game. This is it. From picking your lightsaber to determining whether you go light side, dark side.
There's all these noises and things that you learn to love from the movies, the music and stuff like that. But just a really, really well put together game.
Even though we trust our resident experts who compiled this holiday hit list, we decided that it was a good idea to take things to the people and get their opinion. So here's what you people are putting on your holiday hit lists.
Yeah, this Christmas is like one of the best ones ever. You've got SSX 3 coming out, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King coming out. I wish I had more money for it.
The games I'm looking forward to, Ninja Gaiden, which is coming out.
Well, we're looking forward to Fatal Frame 2, Crimson Butterfly, and Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2 for PlayStation 2.
I'm looking forward definitely to True Crime. I'm not too thrilled about the fact that, you're a cop. Being the criminal is actually kind of fun.
I would like Santa to bring me a GameCube. 2 of them, even better.
One game I'm really looking forward to is 13. Even though it is cel-shaded and that has been kind of used as a gimmick, I think that the gameplay is phenomenal.
Beautiful Joe is awesome. Beautiful Joe's gameplay is like so different from everyone else.
Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is a game that I liked a lot. I bought it right when it came out, and I have Man in 2004. I like how they set that up. The reason you play those ones is the franchise mode is so in-depth.
Probably buy my friend's True Crime for Christmas. Every single person needs that game.
Half-Life 2. I saw the movies for it, and it looks unbelievable.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure Santa will be bringing us those games.
Yeah, Santa.
If you're bad this year, Santa should get you the old 3D version of Frogger. That is the worst game ever.
Some people like fighting games, others don't. Well, if you're one of those punch first and ask questions later guys, step into the room with these fighters. If you've never heard of Dragon Ball Z, then you're probably not a fan of Japanese anime. But if those words cause beads of sweat to form on your forehead and send your pulse racing, then you're either versed in the ways of the Dragon Ball, or you need to lay off the sugar. In Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2, it's all fighting all the time with your favorite characters from the TV show. And if 7 different gameplay modes and 60 combo moves aren't enough for you, you'll also get the voices of the original actors from the hit TV series. This next game is not part of a hit TV series like Dragon Ball Z or, dare I say, Alias. But it is part of PlayStation 2's greatest hit series. Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution takes the original VF4 to new heights with a slew of new features. You'll find the same intense fighting action, along with 2 new characters, several new arenas, and expanded gameplay modes. You'll also notice a marked improvement in both the visual and audio quality, making Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution a bargain. If you were playing games back in 1999, you were blown away by the visual presentation and unmatched gameplay of Soul Calibur. And now, Soul Calibur 2 is leaving a whole new generation of Jaws on the floor.
Soul Calibur 2 is definitely a must-have game because it is a fighting game that even someone who doesn't really even like fighting games like myself likes, because they can just jump in and play and compete.
Soul Calibur 2 is the most incredible, awesomest, bestest, coolest fighting game in the world. I can't get enough of it.
You know, after the Dreamcast version, it was almost a bit of, not a letdown, but, you know, less impressive because the first one was so incredible. But it's got just about everything you want in a fighting game.
Soul Calibur 2 has become a real favorite in our offices, and for good reason. It is, without question, the best fighting game ever put together.
Even if you're not a sophisticated fighting game expert, which Soul Calibur appeals to, you can still pick it up, pick a character, a crazy character with a crazy weapon, and have fun just bashing your friends.
It takes a lot of skill, and there's a lot of blocking. It's a defensive game. There's a lot of, pretty complex moves, whereas Tekken and Dead or Alive are a little easier to play. You can kind of mash buttons and pull off some cool moves, where in Soul Calibur, you really have to know what you're doing.
And the only thing I'm kind of disappointed is each version, the Xbox version has its own exclusive character, as does the GameCube and PlayStation 2. But otherwise, it's pretty much a perfect fighting game.
We need to step aside for a minute so I can ice my thumbs, among other things. But when we come back, we will lock and load as we show you this year's hottest first-person shooters. That's all coming up right here on G4's Holiday Hit List.